Seconds.
Welcome to those joining us. We're coming live from the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy in Singapore, the Grand Cuvee World Billiards Championship. This is a round of 24 match. The top 8 players have byes into the last 16, and numbers 9 to 24 play off to meet those players. My name's Jason Colbrook, and I'm joined by Peter Tankard. Welcome, Peter.
Thanks, Jason. So we're away, 2-hour match. The winner of this match will be facing one of the seeds through to the final 8. And just to give you a bit of a lineup for that final 32, David Corsia got a bye through to the final 8. In a local derby, Gary Oliver from New Zealand is playing Wayne Carey from New Zealand. Both of them observed it was a long way to travel to play somebody that they play pretty regularly. Jonathan Marwood, in no surprise, he's a very fine player, is playing one of the local guys, Alex Puan, who's hobbling around a la Hurricane Higgins in a moon boot at the moment.
Yes, broken foot 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Surgery, multiple screws and hinges and pieces of apparatus inserted.
Well, he's made it through to the final 24 in the World Championship. Well done, Alex. Phil Davis managed to get on top of Ryan Mears to earn a place through to the final 8 in a very tight match.
Phil would be delighted with that, I would think.
Ryan was devastated.
The highest seeding Phil has ever had into the final stages.
It was a very low scoring match by Ryan's standards especially. He didn't get to 200 and Phil got just over 200, so a very tight and edgy affair by the sounds of things. Peter Sheehan, who in the Southern Hemisphere we've not seen a lot of, but I can assure you he's a bona fide genius, a returning professional player. He's earned a bye.
Peter played on the professional billiard circuit when there was one. Back in the days when there was a lot of money in the game, mostly tobacco money.
From and Golden Flake in India?
Yes, a lot of tournaments in India. Peter was a respected professional. He's a very heavy scorer.
Very heavy scorer. I kind of think of him as David Corsia light. Same style, same shots.
He's a very big man with a very deft, soft touch at the top.
Yep. And he's a Yorkshire policeman, and he looks like he could fulfil that role with alacrity.
I think he'd be the guy with the ram going through the door.
Yeah, I think he would. Chris Coombe. So Peter Sheehan's earned a bye, also in his quarter. Chris Coombe is playing Akhilesh Mohan. Frank Humphreys from Western Australia is playing Terry Azor, the evergreen Terry Azor.
And Frank, talking of evergreen, Frank Humphreys won the Australian Billiards Championship about 100 years ago.
Yeah, well, the combined age, and I won't give too much away, between Frank Humphreys and Terry Azor is over 150.
Right.
It's over 150, the combined age. Steve,
that just shows you what a great game billiards is, that you can still compete, into your 70s.
Yeah, well, both of those guys are as fit as a fiddle and look fantastic. Terry Azor you would never pick as being into his 70s, but he is.
No, I would.
And same with Frank. Frank's in his late 70s. Steve Mifsud earned a bye into the final 8, as did Rob Hall. So Steve Mifsud would be 4th seed by the looks of this. Rob Hall, third seed.
That's correct.
Aidan Murray, who has played exceptionally well this tournament, including a century break with a balkline crossing, is playing Steve Allen from the UK. Darren Clark from the UK is playing Gary Norman, the match we're watching
On the
here.
stream now.
Ryan Mears is playing Chris Taylor. That would be an interesting match, I think. If Chris is playing well, you give him a run. Mystery player from parts unknown is playing a local Singaporean.
We're allowed to mention it. Devendra Joshi is playing in this tournament.
Okay,
After all the
Brahmas.
issues, threats of bans, player withdrawals, multiple discussions, emails that went unanswered, Devendra received permission from VSFI, the Indian Federation, to play in this event.
Well, that's great.
We don't know what the ACBS or the IBSF think about it, but Devendra's
What the
here. and he's
ramifications will be, but good on him for giving it a go.
Great to see. I'm sure the other Indian players who withdrew under threat of a ban will be jealous in a friendly way of Devendra's good fortune.
Jealous and very much cheering him on, I bet as well. And finally, in no surprise, Peter Gilchrist earned a bye through to the final 8. So that's our final 24 setup.
As far as how dangerous they are looking, after losing in the last 16 of the Singapore Open, Dave Corsier is now looking in absolute top form.
Yeah,
He made 2 300s in his last match, including a second last match, including a 363. He was a little bit unlucky to lose the white on about 330. He made another 300 in the match before that, and it's really very. It's hard to explain how tough these tables are to anyone who doesn't know.
it's hard to
But
explain.
the tight pockets, the new slidey cloth, the steel back cushions, the heated slates, 300 break with under a balkline crossing on these tables, top break.
That's we said the other day we don't expect to see a 500 break, and a 300 break is really on these tables is equivalent to a 600 in say the RACB in Melbourne. These
Peter
are very
Gilchrist made a 253 unfinished in his last visit to the table before the knockout
Was that in the
stage.
Singapore Open?
No, this his last round robin match.
Because he made a 253 as well in the Singapore
Yeah,
Open.
you had 253 unfinished, and he reckons it would have been 1,000 at the Belgium. No, I'm making that up. But Peter is a confident guy.
Yeah. What you'll see here, just if you watch closely, just watch as the ball pulls up. It just keeps going, and going, and this is presenting problems for the players who play the all-round game. I just played Wayne Carey, famous for playing the all-round game and having beautiful pace control. Everything was running on 2 feet beyond what Wayne was anticipating, and
Shots where the object ball, the second object ball's only a couple of feet away, it's impossible to get too soft.
yes,
You just can't leave it short.
yeah.
Now, Darren has a table at home. He's built a little sort of man cave on the back of his house, and probably had that table, probably unlucky, he probably got set up around the time the pandemic hit. We didn't have any tournaments. But Darren's game's pretty solid these days. Peter, when Peter Gilchrist is in England, he goes round to Darren's place and plays a bit, and apparently Darren's home table is quite similar to these.
Okay. And where's home for Darren?
He's not far
North
from
Country.
York. He's
Yeah.
not in York, but not far from York. He's short commute to the Northern Snooker Centre in Leeds, so he used to enjoy our tournaments there.
Yeah.
But he's not far from York.
Yeah, it
Darren plays
sounded
it.
like a Sheffield accent to me.
Yes, Darren plays a pretty traditional, by the book billiards game.
Classical.
Gary Norman, not so much.
Gary's background actually was as a junior was at snooker, so no surprise he's a strong potter. He'll tend to work the red. Darren is, as Jason said, much more of a classical player.
Yeah, Darren or tack-top,
Yeah,
without being overly aggressive.
yeah,
And that's the sort of shot, if you're just joining us for the first time, you'll see all day. You'll see
Yep.
people overforce that
yes,
front ball. You can throw the ball wide. You've probably heard me use this expression with coaching, which is gentle authority.
yes.
You can
I have.
play shots here with gentle authority.
You can.
You don't have to give it a thump to get the ball to throw a little bit wider. Or
So
just,
the forcer in my last match, can you see where the balk line intersects the side cushion? On the line down to the red spot, I was inside that line, and played not a full forcer, and made it.
well, on the tables we're
Yeah.
used to, that's about maximum for a guy with big Q power.
That's a maximum for a guy
Yeah.
with big Q power, and I hit it, and I ran it 3.5 lengths. It wasn't like a 5 length shot. It was 3.5 lengths, and it
Wow.
was just extraordinary how wide you can make them throw. But oddly enough, at slow pace, they seem to throw just a tad narrower than our cloths. So the range of shots that's available to you on these cloths with the heated beds is much broader than is available to us on our normal club type
Yeah.
cloths, which is both good and bad. If you master it, it means that you can create a shot from anywhere. But on the downside, it makes your standard shots non-standard.
Nothing much happening in this game at this stage. Thank you to all our sponsors for these events. Cuvee, great sponsor. They're a wine company, sort of mail order, delivered to your home wine, good quality wines at reasonable prices. Fairly new business in Singapore. All you have to do is just visit them, visit their website and sign up for the mailing list. You don't have to pay anything, you'll get an email with their specials and various options.
Beautiful.
Strawn Supervine have sponsored the cloths for the 12 tables. It's playing beautifully. The usual setup is we've got Strawn Superfine on the tables and we've got 30-ounce 6/8 on the cushions.
Is that because the cushions receive more wear, or just to
No,
make them
it's
slide
a
less?
standard practice with the strawn cloths is you go 1 grade heavier on the cushions than what you're putting on the bed.
So they'll put
So-
Superfine on the pro table
Yes,
with
if
Strawn's
you were
10 on the
putting
bed.
if you were putting 30-ounce 6/8 on the bed, you would put 32-ounce 6/8 on the cushions.
Right.
That's the sort of recommended procedure to get the best combination of lasting and quality of play.
Yeah. So for the pros, that would now be Superfine on the
I'm
cushions
not sure.
and
What,
Strawn's 10 on the beds. Pro
not
snooker.
sure at all what
Yeah.
you do. Heated slate. Aramis sponsored the balls, and they were 12 beautiful sets of billiard balls. There was one set had a spread of 0.4 grams across.
Yeah.
All the other 11 sets were within 0.2, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. Now tell us about the heated tables. That comes as part of the standard setup with these tables?
Yes, well, I didn't order them myself. So not my department. So I don't know if you can order them without the heating, but no, ours all came with the heating. And in fact, we've experimented with a modern thin oil product to replace the heating they came with because it's more energy efficient.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the wash-up is, but it's quite expensive to run the table heating, and kind of an odd situation. We're in Singapore where it's 33 degrees every day, so we have to have the venue nicely air conditioned to make it comfortable for the players, and that also reduces the humidity. But then you have to heat the slates back up to 30 plus. We have these set to 40 degrees. Makes quite a difference. The ball just runs beautifully on the heated slates. That's part of this sort of running on thing. And it keeps them dry too. Singapore's a very humid climate. over 80% most of the time. And the heated slates just help to keep the moisture out of the cloth as well.
So Gary, few mid-pocket losers. The bailout was always Cannon if he didn't get it up far enough. Focusing on trying to leave the red in a good playable position, but he hasn't. He slipped past.
Gary is known for his colourful socks on the tour. I can't see his pants are hiding his socks on this occasion.
Yes.
He loves to wear colourful socks.
He's one of several working architects that we have at WBL Billiards, including our mate Dave Walsh from Sydney.
Referee for this match is Zhang Wei from Singapore. We don't do a lot of billiards here in Singapore, but we've just had the National Championship, which we played as a round-robin time match, so all the referees got a bit of a practice.
Oh, that's good.
But Zhang Wei also refereed the SEA Games this year. It's the billiards there.
The SEA Games is the Southeast Asian Games, which is a very big deal amongst those nations. SEA Games, multi-sports event, something like the Olympics, but obviously just for Southeast Asian nations.
Just for a little bit of trivia, Zhang Wei eats 24 eggs a day.
24 eggs
Just
a
the
day.
whites. You can see that he's a solid boy. He likes his gym. When a few of us go out for a beer, he has his water bottle.
24 eggs a
Yeah,
day?
for the whites, egg whites. Meat is very expensive in Singapore, so guys that are on a high protein diet will look for alternate methods of getting their protein intake. Very nice guy. Very health conscious.
So
Right,
that one's
with Grab
gone
for a
wide
living.
again. Grab is the taxi app here.
Yes. Like Uber or whatever you have in your country. If you are watching on Facebook from another country, please drop us a line, say hello, where you're watching from, or any questions you might have. This is being streamed live on Ross's Facebook page and also live to the World Billiards YouTube channel.
Don't forget to share these links with your friends and others in the billiards community. I know we've got viewers all around the world, so there are different time zones involved. Some of you may just be getting up and others are having dinner or even getting ready for bed in New Zealand. So share it around. We'll be streaming for the next day and a half, various matches, right through to the final tomorrow afternoon.
It's 6 p.m. today, Singapore time. We'll stream the last 16 match. 10 a.m. tomorrow, Singapore time, will be the quarterfinals in 2 sessions. 3 p.m. tomorrow, Singapore time, will be the semi-finals. And 1 p.m. Thursday for the final
1 p.m. Thursday.
in 2 sessions.
Of how long?
2.5 hour sessions. It's a
5 hour
marathon.
final. Yep.
I'll be disappointed with that. The premier billiards event in the world, the World Championship, the Time World Championship, we have long matches.
Yes.
It's a true test of the players' concentration and stamina. And the players have plenty of time to make big breaks and get on top of their opponents. It's not like a hit gig or a speed tournament. This is a test. Tournament's history goes back to 1830. We have the trophy here, which is the oldest world championship sporting trophy in the world, dating to 1870.
Called the John Roberts Trophy after it was won 5 consecutive times by John Roberts Jr.
Billiards was the original cue sport for anyone watching who's not familiar.
Well, not strictly. Not strictly. It was the first one with these kinds of pockets.
Oh yes,
But
yeah.
but the continental game predates the English billiards. I was reading something interesting. I hope David Pitt's listening, or Peter Ainsworth, or one of the other historians. Um, in in our game, what a
Oh, what
great
a
shot by
lovely
Darren!
shot.
Top spin, check side, run through.
Especially with look where Gary's run the white. That's a
Yeah,
sensational. You can make the short Jenny here and then
if he
get
can.
down there. That'd be beautiful. Sensational shot. And you can do that on these cloths. You hit the ball with lots of topspin.
Yeah,
It'll travel. It'll rebound off the cushion
it'll
just
just
the way it normally would, and the
yeah,
topspin will make it continue on its original path.
yes. So it needs one good pot here. We've seen a few of these missed, famously by Steve Mifsud in the
Yes.
final against. These centre pockets are very, very, very tight. Needs to come down, keeps coming, and it does. So I was saying earlier about the pockets in this game when we make a pot or play an in-off, it's called a hazard. And that was because on the original tables, the pockets were put in there as traps or hazards for the players. It was only somewhat later that they figured out that, hang on, we can intentionally get it in the pocket and create a score. Or so I was reading. But I'd like a second opinion on that. How did hazards get their name?
Hey, Charlie Lowe, watching from Sunbury in Victoria. G'day, Charlie. Loves his billiards.
He does. Active member of the RACV. An occasional visitor to New Zealand. Loves playing against the Kiwis.
Long-time member of the Brunswick Club in Melbourne before he moved to Sunbury. Charlie's one of the brilliant players that really enjoys the more artistic side of the game.
Yes.
He was, sure he won't mind me saying, he was sort of better at massages and fancy shots than just your basic boring shots.
Oh, look how that's
Oh,
gripped.
through.
Very typical on these clots. They're so reactive.
This is a 2-hour match. We'll keep you updated. There's no clock on the screen, but we'll keep you updated on how the time progresses.
We're an hour and 38 to go.
So we only got halfway through our sponsors before we got sidetracked. So Ford, shirt manufacturer here in Singapore, a sponsor of the previous event. They made some great shirts for all the players. One of the first times we've allowed a World Billiards ranking event to be played in polo shirts. And it was a little bit different. I think it was a good look for
I think it was a good look, although I did have some Asian players comment that we all look like we were representing Singapore because we're in
yes.
the Singaporean national colours. But that's what's going to happen if you have a Singaporean sponsor, perhaps.
Well, I didn't think of that. I designed it red and white because that's the World Billiards colours.
Oh, okay. It's also the Singapore national flag.
Yeah. Pro Score, a sponsor of World Billiards. Thank you, Bill Chan. Very appreciative.
Well done, Bill. This is the only scoreboard system that I know of that handles into multiple hundreds, which we use in billiards, of course, that they don't use in snooker. They don't go past 147, or theoretically 155. So we go up into the hundreds and even thousands of pro scores.
So the first iteration of electronic scoreboards didn't go past 999.
Yeah.
Straits Billiards were another sponsor of this event. They were the title sponsor for the Singapore Open, the warm-up event. They're a local company that does tips and cues, and they have one of their Facebook pages is a cue exchange, where you can post, that you want to
Swap a cue.
part with your cue, and you could post cue that you may have for sale, or you may be looking for something special. You may have a special need. It's
Yeah.
unusual for Gary to.
Yeah, now Gary's a strong player. He's obviously played it the way he played it in his local club, expecting it to slide in. It just doesn't. So Darren won the Jersey Open about 10 months ago, is that right?
Yes, and I think he was a semi-finalist in both events in Brussels and Bruges in Belgium.
Okay. He'd be warm favourite, he would.
You'd think so. You'd think over the 2 hours, Darren's more likely to put in a couple of breaks. I was watching him practice first day he came into the academy, and he made a nice 1-2-2. That was before he'd really had a chance to get accustomed to the tables.
Doesn't want to come too far. This might even be a little bit skinnier than we wanted now. So he's played that with check side.
And what do you think of the academy, Peter, the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy?
It is truly the finest cue sports facility that certainly I've ever seen. I can't imagine that there's a better one anywhere in the world. I mean, the attention to detail here. There's a pro shop here with equipment for sale, a lathe where they can do corrections to your cue and repairs, running repairs. You can buy all kinds of merchandise. There's a cloakroom here, so you can actually bring along a set of casual clothes, change between matches if you did want to hang around in the monkey suit. There's how many Rasson tables have we got? Pool tables?
16.
16. Very, very high quality pool tables. And of course there's these Shoping Star tables, which are just a revelation in terms of what you can do with a ball on cloth. Hard to control, but you can do so much here. See, he hardly stroked that. Just poked it in such a wide angle. What's he thinking
It looks
here?
like it's in that spot where the middle pocket lid is not quite on without doing something.
Yeah,
Whether he's playing a long loser,
he's playing
he's
a long
spotting for the
loser.
long loser. But if you go the gentle forcer off the yellow, you may kiss the red on the way back.
That's a good
Played
shot.
that well.
I think he would have rather pulled up a foot and a half earlier to leave drop cannon to get the yellow back in play. But that's okay, he can manipulate from here.
It's not a great shot.
That's not a great shot. Needs it to run on. It
It's looking
doesn't.
easy enough yellow, but you can
It
see
does.
he rejected it before because he was worried about the yellow kissing red.
Mm. So
Pretty much the path that yellow took then too.
yeah. So he's brought that in and out of ball. I think if you'd David Corsier or Peter Gilchrist played that shot, they would have played it with drag and softly to leave the drop cannon.
I do think it was just wide. He may have been able to play up front, though. He really would need to be crunched with check side. That sort of drag, low maximum side sort of
Yeah.
shot. Should be a simple screw enough. He's opened up a narrow lead, Gary. It's not much in the page of things, but it's nice to get through. Darren has a sponsor now. Can't
Who's the
read
sponsor?
Well, I can't remember. I can't read his shirt from this far away.
It's not much of a sponsorship, is it? and,
What I'll
we,
do is sponsor a paper. If you
and,
talk for 30 seconds, I'll go.
and to make it worse, when he puts his arm on the table, the sponsor's logo disappears. There you go. Less than ideal if you're the sponsor. This has gone a bit wrong. Hangs his head. Left with a chancy three cushion cannon.
The sponsor is Quick Slide Windows and Doors.
Okay, well
I'm
done.
guessing it's probably a local company where it is. So thank
Sure
you
will
for
be.
your sponsorship of the sport. Anything that helps the players travel to events is
Yes.
greatly appreciated, not just by the player, but by everyone else in the sport as well.
Now, Mr. Quick Slide, you'll need to have a little wardrobe readjustment. Jason just left the room to do this, but I did comment that when Darren puts his arm on the table, the logo disappears.
All right.
So,
Now he's got his spare shirts hanging on the coat rack just outside our commentary position, so I went and have a look at one of his spare shirts.
okay. So try and bring the yellow back towards the red over a couple of shots here.
It's often hard to know in this situation that it's so difficult to get that red back in play. I'd almost prefer to leave a pot white. Just
Yeah.
play the pot white double book.
Gary thinks he can get there. Getting harder and harder.
Yeah, that's not
No
nice.
position at all.
You can dribble the white, the yellow down into the jaws. A difficult cannon up and down the table. I think he would have been better off to work into position on the yellow.
You're right. So he defaults to what he's comfortable with, which is
Yeah,
pot-
and that's Gary's play that's hitting that with such power.
Mm,
I think most guys
You're not
would
gonna
have
get
dribbled
away
that down
with it,
slowly
yeah.
and left him in the jaws.
yeah.
He's got lucky a bit. Well, he nearly got lucky to leaving it safe. These are such crucial shots, and I see people take these easy. They think this is just a double balk. Doesn't matter.
It's
But
well
if
played.
you leave a good double balk,
Yep.
the advantage is huge.
And what's a good double balk?
Where you can pot or going off.
Where you can put or go in
Yeah.
off, and the balls are separated.
Yeah, it's not too close.
Not too close to
not in
either
the
a pocket
corner.
or each other.
Yeah, but that's I see so many players leave themselves a straight pot.
Now Gary's
From a
trying to
double
come
balk.
around with three cushions to make a yellow first cannon. But look how far that slid. He set that in standard position and he's missed the pocket, which is your reference point, by 2 feet.
Now this is where there's nothing wrong with Darren's double balk, but if he had the in-off option here, it would be much nicer.
True.
But he will try and pot this and leave himself a drop cannon. That looks pretty much perfect.
Very
A little
much.
bit thick on the white, possibly with a touch and check. Push that white into the side cushion and back towards the spot area. Call these drop cannons because you just drop gently onto the second ball. I think you'd be able to do that.
I think I think he'd be very comfortable with that.
Although the putt first is the shot, and is it just risky? Always risky.
But
Not
it's a-
risky, but they're tough.
They're
Tougher
tough.
than you think. Okay, so Darren's in good shape here. Let's see if he can take control of this match.
And this is where he is has an advantage over Gary, is that he's
Oh,
well, as we say, these are much tougher than what you think.
yeah.
You'll see even the best billiards players missing these shots.
Mm.
I have a new respect for pro snooker players. I had plenty of respect for them before, but a new respect having played on these tables. These are much tougher than I anticipated.
I would be very disappointed with that.
So would you consider the cushion first red to yellow cannon? Not Gary.
No, wasted times.
Well,
That wasn't one of
that
them.
wasn't. He wasn't playing for that. He was playing a bit of a backgammon. Try and move the balls around.
So
a
this
bit.
is a interesting situation. You pot the straight red and screw back, leaving up white. You take your time, pot the red, run down, work a few
You'd
hazards.
run down, take a screw pot into these little bags. Yes.
Right, so you just, I agree with this. You take a few hazards. He
Yeah.
has the option of potting the red twice off the spot and leaving a cannon going back towards board,
Yeah.
or eventually getting his cue ball back down into board. There's a couple of ways it can go here. That's too far away. He likes hitting those shots with screw, Gary, and
He
even a
does.
bit of running side. He plays
He does.
sort of his natural instinct.
Yeah. Now he's got to get up to the middle of this. That was a very good pot, but
Because he was so far away, he couldn't really control the position. Really wanted to be as close to where the billiard spot is.
So possible run through cannon. I think he's actually seen the half ball loose a lot. Isn't he back into the world pocket? Yes, he is. But.
And that
Stayed
looks like
in.
double book.
Stayed in.
But that's a nice double book if there is such a thing.
Yeah. He hasn't
Darren
left his
can't
opponent a
score off
shot.
that, so he can just play safe.
So putting some separation between the balls. Now I'm going to give up my chair in the commentary to one of our newcomers to the sport, and we'll let him give his comments about how the tournament's going.
I'm joined by Peter Gilchrist.
Yes,
Hey
and
Peter, how are you, mate?
all good, mate. Yeah, how's the tournament going well?
Very good, very good. How are you feeling? Defending champion, home world championship?
Yeah, it's.
You don't feel pressure, do you?
I was lucky enough to win the last one, so that took the pressure off a little bit. But for this one, I think I'm coming into a little bit of form. I'm just pleased that you're not in it. I think you would have been my biggest danger. I bet you wish you were playing the way.
I do wish I was playing. I very much wish I was playing. Just before you came in, Darren got them the perfect top, Mr. Scott.
Yeah,
There hasn't been much happen. We're just talking about how tough the tables are. You tell us how tough they are.
they are tough, but I'm surprised because Darren's got a table pretty much like these in his home. So he practices on them, and he gets a brand new cloth on every 3 or 4 months. So he's one of the players who I thought would do really well in this tournament, along with Peter Sheehan. He played on a table very similar to this as well. And you know yourself when you first when this was first opened, it does take a little bit of time to get used to the size of the pockets, and but they are if you're playing well, they're fine. If you're not, they're going to make you look as though you've never played before.
I'm still surprised at how gently you can throw the ball wide. You really don't need to do a lot to get the ball going a little bit wider than.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then again, and then if you don't hit them, if you hit them too hard, they really can spread too much.
Oh,
can't they?
yeah.
Anything but a nice hit. That's a nice shot from Gary. I don't know whether he played the double twist there, but it was finished up nice.
Yeah, you'd be happy with that.
Has there been any flukes yet in this game?
Yes, yes. But, that's a typical Gary shot. I thought he could have played a couple of hazards and been in good shape there.
Well, he's not a bad potter, so I think I'd be playing this off round off 2 people, wouldn't you? And then, yeah, there you go. He just, he used to be a snooker player, Gary, and
He likes to thump them in, doesn't
he
he?
does, yeah. And these tables, well, they're no good for thumping them in, really, are they? But he seems to be doing all right. And all the players have said, what a fantastic venue it is, it's the best in the world, and it probably is, isn't it? I haven't been to a better centre before, so we're just really fortunate to have it here in Singapore, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Well, the followers from Pakistan has just sent a row of love hearts. I don't know whether that's for you or me or the stream.
Let's see. No, it's for you. Yeah, yeah. He, what's he called? Gulray's butt.
Now, what sort of preparation did you do for this event, Peter?
Well, we've had a couple of knocks, haven't we? And I've been coming in at 10 in the morning, doing 3 hours of in-offs mainly. And you know, one day I was in and I played for about an hour and a half, just playing in-offs in the middle pocket. And it wasn't until after about an hour and a half I started hitting the ball where I thought, yeah, that's about right. But we've, you know, during the tournament, I've had maybe spells of 20, 25 minutes where I haven't felt that good. Other than that, I haven't been forced my way to the top during the tournament. I've just been playing a few in-offs, getting used to the table a little bit more, and maybe when I come to like the business end of the tournament, that's when I'll maybe go down the top and try and keep them there quite a bit longer.
Congratulations on winning the Singapore Open.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What were the odds you got the other day to win both?
Yeah, a good mate of mine, Glenn. Yeah, he gave me 4-1, which I thought was very generous. Obviously, you can't bet in Singapore, so I didn't take any of that in. That should have been a little bit more gentle. I didn't want it,
Yeah. He's not really a top of the table player. So, big swipe at that.
I didn't realise how good a potter he is. He's, you know, he gets him out of trouble, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I think I've watched Gary quite a bit, and he doesn't have anything in between soft and hard. It's one or the other. The in-between shots, it's just, and everything to 100 mile an hour with maximum side.
He does a pretty good setup, pretty solid setup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
his,
he doesn't. Yeah.
his rhythm too is very good. He always does his 3 feathers. Oh, just made a fool of him. First one he hasn't done his 3 feathers. He does it on the pops.
Right. Yeah. How's your coaching doing over here? I know I've spoken to a few of the guys that you've coached, and they're really happy. And they feel as though that the game's really progressed with your coaching. Do you enjoy the coaching side, or do you like playing better?
Oh, I love coaching Billiards.
Yeah.
But it can be frustrating because it's a slightly intuitive game. You can't teach everything in Billiards. People need to get a feel for the game and then be able to develop their own shots and strategies. And it's
And it takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
yeah. And one of the guys I work with a bit, Jeremy Coe, who's one of our sponsors. I refereed his game last game, and under pressure, a lot of the things that we talked about disappeared.
I actually refereed his game as well. He was playing Aidan Murray.
Yep.
Yeah.
One stage he lost.
Yeah, Aidan made 100 break in that one.
One stage he lost the white and he had the red sort of near the middle of the table and he was in hand. And I told him that, in my opinion, there's no value in going to long loser. Just play the single cork safety, put the red in walk, put your white on the top.
Yeah.
But he went to long loser, missed it, and left them both. Yeah, left them both in open play. But that happens under pressure. You resort to whatever you normally do. There's another fluke.
Yeah. I think I was watching a little bit earlier out in the main hall there, and I saw 2 flukes. That's why I asked. So that I think that's his 3rd or 4th, isn't it?
Well, we've been chatting. Gary's opened up a lead of 70. I think Darren would have had good odds to win this.
I've got Devandra Joshi in my last 16 game, which is a tough one. He was good flip from years ago. I used to go to India quite a lot in the years. I think full value might have beaten him in the final. Maybe Geeky sent me. But he played fantastic against me at the time. He beat me by about 600 or 700.
He made a 714 break in Sydney. I think 2002. Mounties.
Yeah, he's walked out, hasn't he? So,
Nice guy too.
yeah, good guy. Yeah.
We were talking about that break with Devendra, and he said that he was playing Alec Kim, who followed up with a 400 immediately, and then straight away after that, Devendra made another 300. So three consecutive
Big
breaks,
breaks,
big
yeah.
breaks.
I'm really impressed by guys that make a big break after they've been sitting down for half an hour or more. I just think that's a true skill. I mean, it's impressive the guy that made the big break, but it's equally impressive to come back.
Well, people talk about Walter's 4137. What they don't know is that Joe Davis, next walk to the table, made it 2000.
Wow.
You know, next walk to the table.
Yeah. But I know what you're saying there.
I was impressed in Carlo 2011 when Matthew Bolton made his 830 break and Phil Mumford got out of his chair and made 240.
Yep.
You know, that's really hard to do.
Yep. Tough.
I played Mike Russell in 2010, I think it was, in India, and it's when he made his 1,000 break.
Is this when your score didn't change for 2 hours?
Yeah, exactly. So what happened? He made 1,000 break. I've got out my chair with nothing. I've gone for a can, and then he made an 800 straight, and I felt that I just couldn't do anything at all. So yeah, to follow a big break with a big break, it's
I thought the online scoring was broken because his score went up by 2,000, but yours didn't move.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Yeah. I played all right in the semi though. I was about 400 behind against Keaton. I think they made a 600, so I went into the final in quite good form, but Mike just blew me away. So I tend to think, you know, you've got the likes of David, who's been winning quite a bit recently. But what I do is I tend to think of the players that I've played in the past, the likes of Robbie Folvari, who when I played him the first 4 or 5 times and never ever beaten him. I remember playing him in a best of 750 up game, and he'd made 4 150s, and I didn't score. And he'd never ever looked like he was going to miss anything. You know, Dagney's done the same way. What's a 1,200 break from Dean Seppi? Like say, Mike Russell's made 1,000 and 800 against him. So these guys now, you know, I always go back to that and I think, right, that's the kind of form that I need, you know, to get in it. And if I go and do anything like that,
Darren.
yeah, he's struggling, Darren, isn't he?
Yeah.
The game has a very long history, and not all of the modern greats are the only greats that we've had. So, so Peter, after this closes off, you're coming down to join us in Sydney for the Sydney Open Billiards.
Yeah, Club Marconi, what a that is, eh?
Yeah, great.
That's one of the nicest clubs I've been in, you know, in terms of you know, social club.
And can I tell you how excited that the Club Marconi in Sydney is become an ethnic Italian club in the western suburbs of Sydney. It has a very strong Italian flavour, and the fellas there are so looking forward to seeing you. They consider that it brings great honour to Club Marconi to have a world champion in their midst, and they're so excited. So they all said, "Oh, say hello to Peter, say hello to Peter." So
I liked when you said that it's a great honour, and you did the hand movements of in Italian. It was fantastic.
Absolutely,
you can only see it. Yeah.
I actually, for the presentation last year, I actually learned a speech in Italian.
All right.
So I mean, they're big on it. They love it. Well, Darren needs to find something here, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, could be slipping away.
1 hour and 12 minutes to go.
So you'd say the average scores for this tournament down on typical average scores over an hour?
It's such a spread.
Yes.
We've had quite a big spread of talent, of course. We've got some of the Singapore players who are playing are not very experienced, and a couple of them have actually been taken to billiards recently. But then we've had, you know, Peter and Dave and others pounding in the big score. So in the first tournament, in the 1 hour matches, I think we've had some matches have been won with a score around 130 or 40, while other players have got 800.
It would be fair to say, I think, that these tables sort out the men from the boys in a way the club table perhaps doesn't. You'll get pure flukes on these tables because of the tight pockets. And the better players, I'm always astonished, Peter, little you practice on the table before you play. I've seen you walk in to a tournament, just turn up and start. And for us lesser lights, it's always a miracle to us that you can adapt so quickly. Is that just years of experience and so many different table conditions?
Yeah, I think it is, you know, that's where David's got a good advantage. He plays in a local league every week and he's on a different table. So
Yes.
he's learned to adapt all the time. And the likes of Darren Clark, who's playing here, although this table is pretty much like his at home, I'm sure that Darren, he just plays on his home table, which can be detrimental to you, can't it? You know, if you're just shooting one table in the yeah, it's difficult.
So how do you overcome the lack of like weekly league practice?
I'm fortunate at the moment, like I said, Jason gives me a few games of billiards now. So, but in the past, I go back to Middlesbrough quite a bit and get some good practice there. There's a lot of, like I say, Teesside League, there's a lot of really good players. I'll go back and I'll practice with a guy called Tony McKinley, who's a good friend of mine. He played well. I'll play against him. Mark Graham, another good player. So yeah, I'm fortunate in that respect. But now it's really good, like I say, Jason's here. And I was just going to mention there the amount of Singapore players that we've got now. I've been here for quite a number of years, and nobody's really been interested. So, you know, Jason's got a bit of a magic touch getting them all interested in the game. I could never do it. They just didn't want to be interested at all.
Can I tell you that if the prospect of playing you each week is just the prospect of spotting balls, isn't it really? You're not going to learn an awful lot. If you're playing, I mean, it's a great privilege for us to be able to play against you, with you. But realistically, you're not going to be learning a lot in terms of queuing if you're playing Peter Gilchrist. You want to be playing somebody who's just a bit better than you are.
Yeah. Then it's more enjoyable, you know.
Yeah.
I know a good friend of ours, Roger, the other night, he'd come along to watch the final of the Singapore Open. And, he thought it was not that exciting, really, although it was an exciting final. And I said, I know what you mean, he said, because I would rather watch, I go and watch the local leagues in Middlesbrough, and I'd much rather watch somebody who can only make maybe a 20 or 30 break, because you see such a variety of shots. Whereas the top players, you know, the likes of, you know, Matthew Bourne, Frankie Legnani, Mike Russell, if they're in full flow, it's just like bottom half of the table and that's it.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate because, you know, it's been said many times before, the better you get at the game, the easier you make it looks, and it's just not, unfortunately, not really a spectator sport. But fortunately, Jason was saying that he's going to be changing the rules soon. He's going to make a pot wide of the foul, is that right, Jason? And just one red off the spot, so
We've talked about various different rule changes. A number
it's always over a beer as well.
Nobody can remember the details of the meeting.
There's one of the local guys here who played in this tournament, and he won a couple of games. He just decided 4 weeks ago to take up billiards and entered the national billiards. Came to see me a couple of times. We've been a couple of hours together.
Yep.
But he downloaded Martin's first book from the World Billiards website and read it in one sitting.
Yep.
And then he borrowed the second book from me, took it home, read it that night. Then he borrowed the third book and took about 2 or 3 days to read it.
Who was this with it? Ivan?
Larry.
Oh, Larry, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He read the third book in. I mean,
the 400 pages of...
I'm now on my 4th month
Yeah.
of reading that book, and I'm still only on about page 30.
Each time he came in, he'd been trying to replicate shots, not from the third book, from the first and second, you know, and asking about what am I doing wrong here? I can't replicate this shot. He really took to the game like a university student of
technician.
billiards, you know, yeah. And I watched a little bit of his game the other day. I haven't had an opportunity to watch a whole game, and he played 5 or 6 shots in a row that were just regulation billiard shots played exactly as they should be.
Yeah. I mean, that only takes you so far. I mean, so much of the game is intuitive, isn't it? It's feel. It's a feel kind of game.
Darren needs to make a
Yeah,
practical
110
visit
behind.
even.
Well, he's in the place to do it, isn't he?
He's got to put some pressure on Gary.
He's a really good player, Darren. You know, I was surprised last year. I was in England for quite some time, and I went over his house quite a bit, and he's well capable of making a 200 followed by a 200 break. You know, it wouldn't faze him at all. So, you know, this could be a big break. What's your prediction here, Peter? How many will you make? Let's see who's the closest out of the 3 commentators.
Okay. Well, are we having a beer on this one? We usually do. I'm
Go on,
going
you
to
go
say
first.
I'm going to say he's going to break down on the balk line crossing. So I'm going to say he's going to get to 94.
94. Okay, Jason.
39.
39. I'm going to say 67.
Okay,
Can we
so
remember them?
on the top
94,
end.
67, 39. Right.
Any
Well,
people
Darren,
watching?
Darren,
Feel
when
free
you're
to poke
watching-
the guess.
When you're watching this later, I just want you to know that I respect you more than other commentators do.
I'm
Yeah,
only
this is
saying
called committee, man. So-
I'm only saying a low number because it hasn't been going well so far. I hope I'm wrong. Nice to see a
We'll
really
also
big
take
break.
online bids, and the beer to be delivered in Sydney. So Sydney siders, get your bids in.
Oh dear me, Jason
Oh,
could be right here.
very
Was
good.
it 32?
Oh dear,
Yeah.
from 990.
It
what
wasn't
was it,
really on to
994?
get behind.
He
it
tried
there,
to
was
get
it?
behind, didn't he?
No,
And
it
I don't
wasn't
think it was. He should have been playing it just the full on the red, yeah. What's he doing?
Is that even on?
You're the
He's
Oh,
playing a
dear,
run
mate.
through with top spinning checks on.
Jason
Oh,
Corbett
Jason
takes the
Corbett,
Billiards.
thanks.
I'll find it Sapporo later on. Oh, he'll be very disappointed with that.
Darren, I expected so much more. Gary Norman can't believe his luck.
This can be looking at Darren. I think he's just trying too hard, isn't he?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Just,
Just
you know,
it?
yeah, he just looks as though he's really under pressure.
Is that the pressure
He
of
wants
expectation?
it. He definitely wants it. I mean, I don't think not the expectation of winning, but he wants to perform well because this is the first World Championship since he's had his table and his form's taken a step forward.
Yeah.
There's been some other events, but you know, the first World Championship in 3 years.
Well, he's
That's
capable,
a
isn't he?
poor shot.
He's won the Jersey ranking at the league event, so
Yes.
you know he knows what it's like to win.
This is less than ideal.
His results couldn't speak fast enough. I was going to predict round the back. I just had that look around it. His results so far through the tournament have been very patchy. He's put in a couple of good matches out of probably had 7 matches. He's had 7 group stage matches, and he's only put a couple of good matches out of those. He's had quite a few wins, but
He's a very elegant player on the table, isn't he?
He's got a great touch, you know, and you can keep him at the top for quite a long time.
it's finished quite nicely for him. Hot reds grew back for an off white.
He posted that short Jenny challenge, I think, during the pandemic. I don't know whether you saw that.
Yeah.
Where
And
he had,
got them,
yeah, you had to make
Almost-
5 short
almost
Jennies
snooker-
from
snooker
increasingly hard positions. And it was beautifully executed. Okay, it's his home table intimately.
Is that the legs of Peter Sheehan in the background there?
It looks like
Does
Peter
look like
The
Sheehan,
Everton,
doesn't it?
the Everton supporter.
Yeah,
A few
They look
people
like
have come up
policemen's
to me
legs, don't
today.
Hey?
they look like policemen's legs, don't they?
Yeah. What was that, yes?
A few people have come up to me today and said that Peter Sheehan's a beast. I don't know if they're talking about his playing ability or his stature.
Lovely guy. I've known Peter since he was
Yeah.
10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I lived in Widnes, and he's won the English anthem a number of, I don't know how many times, maybe 5 or 6 times.
He was part of the whole group with you and Mike and Dave. And
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to India quite a few times. Never, I don't think he ever won a rangathon, but he was well capable of doing it.
I mean, as kids, was he part of that?
No,
No,
because
Yorkshire.
he's over northwest, and
Oh, okay.
we were northeast. So
Ooh.
he developed the game. Well, I used to live in Widnes, so I used to.
What do you do here, Peter, to develop that white ball?
You've just got to be
Get inside.
inside it, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
inside, but softer than that, I think. Yeah, it's
So
just got to wear.
difficult,
It had to
isn't
be
it?
softer, didn't it? He's still up early. But a PK shot.
It's got the red off the question too now.
Don't disturb it. Yeah.
He's put the white in, hasn't he? Though. Yeah. Did a big better off, I think. I saw him play a great shot earlier on when he played the in off into the yellow pocket. He played a run through in off red, and he's bounced it in off the cushion and then with the side.
Oh, yes, that was a great
What a
shot, wasn't it?
fantastic
Yeah,
shot.
fantastic.
And Gary had just run his cue ball down by the spot, put them himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great
I
shot.
think that's probably shot of the championship.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, top speed check side, like a ricocheting off.
Yeah, no, it was a great shot. I have to remember that one for the highlights reel.
Yes. So he's made some small impact. He's 80 behind now. He was 120 behind.
We've just gone past the 1 hour mark for the second half of this match.
Balls everywhere.
Tested the snooker.
Now, if that was David Corsia, the balls would have gone everywhere and then finished within 6 inches of each other.
I remember talking to a great player of pass. He put it that well. You got a good shot, hasn't he? Yeah, Gary, actually 100 mile an hour, but he just stayed still.
Did you see the spin on the cue ball though? I don't know what he did, but the cue
Oh,
ball
right,
was
when he spinning
rotating.
around a bit.
Yeah, it was spinning around very strongly.
I remember the first time Rex Williams, well, one of the greats of Billiards, first time he ever actually watched David Cordia play. A number of years ago, obviously David's game's improved a lot since then, but he played David, and I said, oh, what did you think? He said he's an absolute genius. He said he hits the ball that come round off 6 or 7 cushions, and 2 balls end up over the middle pocket every single go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so,
And I mean, the first time I saw him doing it, I thought this guy's one of the luckiest players I've ever seen.
but he does it so often, you think, hold on, it can't be luck, can it?
That's
Yeah.
right. After 10 minutes of watching, I thought, hang on,
Yeah.
it
Well,
keeps
this
happening.
is probably the last thing you want to hear, Peter, but I thought he's looked tighter this time round.
Yeah, well, he has
He
the
has
last
done.
few tournaments. He's
The
a lot
last few
tighter at the
years.
top.
Yeah.
And in the past, I've maybe saw him keep the top of 40, 50. Now he looks like he would maybe make 150.
He
you know,
does,
at
yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Charles? Is that Charles?
That's
the
Charlie
Charlie
Lowe,
Lowe,
yeah,
yeah.
Charlie
From
Lowe. Yeah.
Melbourne, yeah.
something like that. How we doing, Charlie? You alright?
Fortunate jaw there. So just push the red past the yellow into drop 10 position.
It's great to hear all the players say what a fantastic. Well, we know anyway, but what a fantastic place Singapore is. You know,
Yeah.
they can't believe how
Yeah.
you know they obviously have told them that how great it is, but just to see it for themselves, you know,
Yeah.
they can't believe how lucky they are.
Yeah, I don't know what they were expecting, but if you've not been to Singapore,
It's better than what you expect, isn't it?
it's much better. It's so much,
You know,
so much better.
And everything's close.
Yeah.
It's not like, you visit Australia, it's a long way to see the sights.
No, yeah.
But here, everything's within easy reach.
Would you have played
There was a bit
the
of
follow
change.
through there?
I think I could play the 369.
Yeah.
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 Because it's not in a great position, is it? If you played the 369,
No.
he could have dropped the red a little bit
It's not-
closer
It's not.
towards the yellow, couldn't he?
It's not like he had direct drop count.
So it would be a good example of why you should have played the 369 instead of
Yeah.
that.
I think he's okay though, isn't he? He can screw back off the yellow, or screw back
Can he?
cannon off the yellow, yeah.
He can. Not a lot of follow through.
He doesn't like it, does he? It's, how's he going to screw back off the red?
Victor's saying hello.
Oh, that was a clever shot.
Hey, Victor?
What a clever shot that was from Gary.
Yes.
He's used the.
The jaw.
Who's that? Oh, it's Victor. All right. Hi, Victor. Good mate of mine from the cricket club. A few guys went to the cricket club the other night, and they were saying, that's one of the best clubs they've ever been in.
Singapore Cricket Club has a table with one slate.
Somebody was telling me there are only 2 of those in the world, so they had to take down a wall to bring it in there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one single piece of slate.
Almost too hard. Might have gotten away with it.
On the highlights reel, I know we were talking earlier where Gary played a cannon, then used the middle pocket jaw to push the red down, and that's how he's in this position.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll probably say he played it on the top of it like that. Looks like it's getting away from Darren here.
Very
He
much
needs
so.
something. He needs a big visit, doesn't he?
Plenty of time.
How long is the
50,
ball?
54 minutes to go.
I'm going to go and make the coffee. Do you guys want a coffee or a tea?
Lots of coffee.
Yeah, I'll have coffee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter,
Milk
for
sugar?
joining us.
No
Yeah.
sugar.
Just milk for me.
Copy says you die.
Copy.
We've got a couple of options here. We go pot red cannon off the field.
Well, he favours his spots.
I know he's screwing around to prove the angle. It's a good shot. It's great when the reigning world champion can join you for commentary. isn't it?
Just pops in for commentary, volunteers. But he does love a chat. That's got away from him. a bit.
Yes, much too hard. Not only it pushed the red a bit far, but he hasn't developed a good yellow either. This should present it better.
We're joined in commentary by a man we were talking about earlier, Peter Sheehan. Welcome, Peter.
Hey, Peter, nice to see you.
Which beer?
Looks like we're joined in company with nothing but Peters.
Too many pizzas.
Yeah. How are you enjoying the tournament?
Loved it, really enjoyed it. Fantastic venue. Love Singapore. Really good.
Have you been here before?
No, never been. Never been.
Have you had time to do any touristy things?
Yeah, went up to Marina Bay a couple of days ago. It's,
Yep.
it's,
Up top?
no,
No.
I made to go before I go, but it's something else, that place.
Before my first trip here, I hadn't seen any of the photos of that building. I just saw 3 towers with a ship on the top,
Yes.
and I thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, what is that?
It's absolutely, it's breathtaking when it's all lit up.
But that whole marina area
Yeah.
is just a showpiece of architecture. And
Do you like Asian food, Peter?
I love it, absolutely love it. But then, I've had nothing but rice and noodles for 5 days now.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
so, Peter, you're a full-time policeman
I
in
am. Yeah,
Yorkshire,
yeah, that's me. In Merseyside. Yeah,
in Merseyside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been for just over 18 years, 19 years now.
Are you happy with your own form?
So yeah, I was struggling before I came here, to be honest, and then it's a bit of form in the open.
Yeah.
The weekends played quite well.
You were the first to make a 150 plus in that tournament
On
before
Saturday,
the
yeah.
others started to fire.
Yeah.
up a bit.
Yeah, they say the conditions have been fantastic. You know, the superfine plots. It suits my game. Playing top of the table for it. And, I've really enjoyed it. Really
You have to
enjoyed
take a lot of care, though, don't you?
You do, yeah.
Especially putting along the top rail.
You need to be, you need to keep the balls close together. The further the balls get away on these tables, you start struggling because it's so sliding, so reactive.
We were a bit surprised at this scoreline so far.
It is a surprise, and I was practicing with Darren before the game out, and he's got a lovely table in his house, very similar to this, and he played really well against me, and he normally plays well on conditions like this because he's so used to the slide and the throw, the ball. But yeah, it is a surprising scoreline so far.
Victor Young saying hello, Peter Sheehan, Peter's good friend.
Hello, Victor.
From the cricket club.
Yeah.
Great fella.
Lovely man.
Did you go down to the cricket club the other
Yeah,
day?
we went on Thursday, here. He made us very welcome, as they always do.
Okay, well, Gary's more than double Darren's score. Well, you would have received long odds about this at the beginning of the match. So, and we're halfway through, so Darren's going to have to start producing quickly. Victor, I'm afraid we've got our coffees and you haven't been included, so you're going to have to get your own latte at the cricket club.
Yeah, you missed out there, mate. Next time. But we had one the other day, didn't we? Had a lot.
Yeah. What seed did you earn into the knockout stage, Trevor?
Got number 4 in the
Okay.
sorry, number 5.
Number 5.
So I was 4 in the open. Yeah, but the winner of Chris Cuvee and Chris Bohan.
Okay.
Chris is about 100 in front, I think, the numbers. Yeah, it's something about 4 days to get body clock back to normal.
Yeah,
It does take time. First couple of days, I just couldn't sleep. Waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There's so many theories. Some people think going home is always worse. Some people think flying east is worse than flying west, or vice versa. Some people recommend exercise, get off the plane and find a gym.
Well, the science on this is pretty good. It's sunshine resets the body clock. So if you arrive in daytime, you should spend the day outdoors.
It's been a bit cloudy here lately.
Yes. Well, even clouds.
Really not happening for Darren.
Darren's
just-
it's going through the grinder there, you can tell he looks a bit edgy. He's missing shots, his long losers are only very good. Just missed one there.
He got them the perfect top earlier and missed a straight putt. And then he got them, the second time he got them to top, he tried to
Light.
come from behind in a cannon that it wasn't really on to come from behind. This is the first ball and got a cover.
Gary's had a little bit of run with this game as well. He's had a few.
Well, he's had a result there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's getting to the stage now where Darren he needs to hit.
Yes.
I think it's 70-80 to get back right into this game.
Well, it's such an uncomfortable space because you've got to take a few more risks. You're a long way behind, you're not feeling great,
No.
and now suddenly you have to make the running, so you've got to take a few more adventurous shots.
And he goes to the ball line room as well. I think that's in the back of your mind as well.
Exactly. So you can't do it in one.
Something's being discussed by the players and the referee. I'm not sure what.
They stop the clock. If they stop the clock, we need to stop ours as well.
You're going to try and go in off this and leave it in ball? Or you just play? Oh, it's not.
Was positive.
It was dangerous because
Very dangerous.
if he played a double balk, he would have left them in the corner.
Yeah.
Hard to know what to do.
But this is a tricky shot. This, under pressure, if you miss this, you're stuck right back in. Or if he just plays the stun and leaves the white really on the spot.
Yeah.
The red and ball.
Put the red off the 2 cushions in the ball. Oh, I don't think Gary will do that.
I don't think it's like that. He likes to pot it.
That was a great pop and good shot. Red's left to right.
He's potted very well in this game.
He is a strong pot.
But that's right in his wheelhouse, that pot. If he can hit the cue ball low with a touch of running side, he likes to
That's
put
it.
like that.
Yeah, he does. He cues. He puts side him all a second shot.
Yeah, yeah, he does, yeah.
He punches it, doesn't
He played one long straight pot from hand earlier. The cue ball was
Rotated
went
on
right
the
in the
spot.
middle, but
Yeah.
he's playing with great freedom too. Now I think he feels like he's almost got it won.
he? 45 minutes left. I think the keeper Gary now is just not to take the risks, to keep it
Yeah.
as tight as he
Yeah.
can, keep as much distance
That's a
between the
good
balls
shot.
as well,
That's a good shot.
and make Darren take risks.
Yep.
I just think one of the hardest round the table cannons is when one of the balls is in the D.
Yes.
It's just
So,
a
yeah,
Yep.
so much
really
loops in the
tough
back of the
target.
corner.
Yeah.
If they're near the out of the corner, you've got a big
Mm.
target here, a big margin of error.
So he's decided not to attempt it.
He's going to drop this in. Double ball.
I have a half pulling off here, gentle forcer maybe. Quite wide, it's hard to try.
Wasn't a big risk on that shot.
No.
He was leading. And force is different. Not that much force.
Overball.
What's it, flip the cannon?
No.
He just had no running here either. Hasn't
Were
been playing
you
his best.
overcooking your forces first couple of days?
Yeah, it's what six going to go.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're not under hitting them because you don't
Yeah.
get the swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's getting a happy medium, really.
Even just a standard middle pocket loser to bring it off the top cushion and back, you get a little bit of throw
Yeah.
as well.
I think Thursday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, I came in and back to table one. It's the first time I hit a ball over it. And I played it, set up against an average, easy half ball, up into the centre. And I missed it by 2 inches. It's
Yeah.
like, you need to adjust it.
That's a good shot. With an unfortunate result.
Close that. Gary should just accommodate him, play the same shot in
Yeah,
return.
it was better. Tip the time.
Yeah. I was chewing up time.
There's a famous match Peter might remember.
Robbie Folvari, Sorok Patel.
Yes, and they did
And you
that
had
for
them?
about 12 or 13
Did they?
shots, yeah.
No more than that. It was 26 minutes. I sat there and
Unbelievable.
watched that match, which was 8 hours and 20 minutes for a best of 7 150 of
Yep.
8 hours and 20 minutes. And during that 8 hours and 20 minutes, neither player attempted to go to the top. Not only did they not play top of the table, neither attempted to go to the top.
Well, I watched about 7 hours of that 8-hour match, and just when it looked like ending, I got tapped on the shoulder. I had to drive some of the Indian players to the airport.
Yeah.
So I watched 7 hours without seeing the finish.
Yeah. But, well, if you saw the beginning, it was the same all the way through to the end. So yeah, 26 minutes without attempting a scoring shot, and 8 hours
So
and
this
20
is
minutes.
another one that's not worked out well.
You know, that's a bounce, isn't it? It's been a bit of
Yeah.
lucky there. It's one of them shots where he had to play it at that speed, otherwise he wouldn't get it,
Yeah.
but he's lost the red.
So now he has to attack this.
I'd slide round.
Oh, well, just
But it's not goal.
there's nothing going for him at all. Peter, tell us about your usual practice conditions, your home club and home table.
I'm quite lucky. Say I was away from the game for 18 years. Well, actually, happened about 18 months ago. My good friend Andrew Livingston on the World Snooker Tour.
Yeah.
He said, "Why don't you start playing again? I've still got your old cube, which I'd sold to him years and years ago. So it's still there. So I'm with a very lucky level. I've got access to like an industrial unit. One's Andrew's got a star table, and there's also a Riley house that's heated to light. We've got 20 access to it. Which, luckily, a guy by the name of Paul Anscross, who's sadly no longer with us, used to sponsor me years ago, gave me access to go back to it again. So I've got 24 hours, I will be working shifts, and it's a job that I do. I can go early morning, late at night. I'm very fortunate we don't have to pay for it. You see, just pay for the meters to the table. You see, you know, a couple of friends of ours. But it's pretty similar conditions to this.
So it's a star table.
You know, star table and a
Heated
bar.
bed?
Yeah, heated bed. Big,
Okay.
really bright lights. Before I came out, I had done 2 weeks on the star table to help me out. I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant Medley, he watched that very long match as well.
Yes, we were both there.
We haven't seen Gary's socks, Grant. He's got longer pants on than normal.
Yeah, well, there was some. I think Grant, you were suggesting at that time that there needed to be a rule change, which everybody who was watching that match agreed with. If you're not attempting a shot for so long, it was incredibly dark.
A bit of tension behind the apple match.
Yeah.
And you might recall, Grant, too, that match was actually a semi-final with the winner to play Matthew Bolton. So, in my view, neither Sourav nor Robbie had thought it through very well. They were both better off if they'd had a quick match, so they were fresh going into the final with Bolton, but they kind of killed each other in the semi-final.
How do you get this safe, Peter?
I think I did the bottom.
Yeah.
He might be forced to go to the top.
Yeah.
And he did manage to get it safe.
He's had a bit of fun.
Yeah.
This isn't easy, especially under pressure. You know, he's got to get it soon down.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Great. So 162 the difference. Essentially needs to make a ton or better.
It's been lucky that the white rail is in it. It's a bit in no man's land.
It is.
It needs to be a little bit 4 or 5 inches to the right. Being in a good position.
Gonna have to take his time, play a few reps.
That's a great point from there.
Being off white here and getting into some sort of drop cam position. Really.
Just a gentle forcer, out of good, but not too far.
I don't think it's even a forcer. Oh, you were right.
That's it one.
Into the lot well. Put that red round here to the left hand rail. Make it shot the white to red cannon.
Moving white now. It's a bit chancier than your suggestion, Jason.
There's just too many ways that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you could easily bring the red up closer to the white.
The half-board cam was on it.
Yeah.
Top pocket. And
Yeah.
nicely
Yeah.
close to go.
Well, just no running at all.
It can be tough too, even though there's 40 minutes, nearly 40 minutes to go, you can feel like time's running out.
Yeah.
Your logical mind says, no, I've got plenty of time, but
But it's not. It's a big lead, but it's in the context of this match. It's a big lead because it's an edgy game, but it's not the biggest lead.
No.
It's not necessarily, undoable.
Yeah.
while Darren sort of doesn't look in underbreak form, he can make underbreak.
Oh,
He
it's
can
more than capable.
certainly knock this lead off in a couple of average breaks.
Yeah. That just puts the pressure back and going.
Yeah.
But he does need to get in. He needs a bit of running of the ball too. I mean, it's been all one way.
Some days you just know.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to be all day, or something. Make the balls going, and little nudges, things like. I mean,
Yeah.
they're sitting
Like that sick job
It-
popped out.
yeah.
So if he can get in off, he's got another shot.
The shot on is the soft screw, very thin on the red, right hand side. Very thin. good shot.
Good shot.
I think that's the yellow drop cannon. He's away again.
Yep. Some days it just works out.
Bit heavy-handed, but I think he's still got it.
He doesn't often drop it down.
No.
You know, he always lots of people a bit away. Over that one.
Mm. That's overcooked.
The most important thing was just getting a good red there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was worried too much what we want.
Yeah, no.
Sure, good red. Sometimes in matches like this, you just got a good match player and just keep scoring.
So Peter, having been away from the game for 18 years, tell us your view about how the game changed in that time in between.
Hasn't changed that much to be fair. Like obviously when I was playing, like obviously like Robin van Baarle, Keith Setten, Robson Chapman, Chris Shutt. There's a lot of probably not as many top players as there was then as there is sort of now as there was then. If you know, obviously
Yes.
Mike, so you got Dave, Peter, Rob, top class.
You've got a whole lot more amateurs
Yeah,
playing now, though.
yeah. But I think the standard is pretty quite similar and right across the board.
Yes.
Around the middle of the rankings, I think pretty much everyone can beat everyone else really.
Yep.
Certainly over the 1 hour games, short format anyway, from the 1 hour game. You get off to a bad start against anyone. Most of the players are capable of making one break.
Were you surprised at how competitive you were again from the get-go?
I was someone, and when I came back, I just wanted to win a few games, enjoy it basically. And then I got the week 2 finals. I lost today against Scottish, and I managed to beat Peter twice. And I played really well against Peter. I
saw
just
those
I felt like
matches.
I just got right to the zone against Peter. Back in the day, and Peter's a brilliant hero. He's a good friend of mine. And I could never ever beat him. I came close a couple of times, but I never ever beat him. And then I beat him twice in the space of 6 weeks. So I must be doing something right,
Yeah,
because, he's reigning world champion and just an absolute legend of the game. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And I'm struggling a little bit sometimes with the inconsistency, but it's to be expected because I've been out that long.
Yeah.
I think been putting the work in and think we're doing really well.
So at one stage, you were doing this for a living?
More or less, yeah, before I joined the police, I was employed as a snooker centre manager. So I was playing every day. That was my main job, but I was playing 6-7 days a week. I was 6 years on the pro tour. Went to India about 7-8 times. That was for sure.
Playing in the Golden Flake
Yeah,
series?
and a couple of world championships. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Went to Malta as well. I think that was my last ever pro billiards game. And that's when I joined the police. Then I never played again.
Did
Your
you?
highest match rate?
It was 349. I did that on the pro tour, and I've had 2 agents.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
Very good.
Ooh, slow down light.
Oh,
This is a lovely shot to get. If you get this right, if you get this shot right, he's going to be banging it. So it's a lovely shot to play on these tables with this slide and push.
You like to have a slightly bigger target ball.
Oh.
I thought he pushed that,
He's come inside of them.
You can actually slide a much narrower angle than you expect.
Exactly.
There's a
Exactly.
slide on the cushions and it takes the check, or running off the
Yep.
cushion, check
Yep.
off the ball.
Yep.
Especially if the opponent's ball is slightly off the cushion,
Yeah.
with a big target.
Yeah, no, that was.
And you can just concentrate on getting a good red. Hope they hit the ball on
This is
I really
good, I
like that
think.
shot. Gary's another result there.
He's had another result.
Is he
Played
not?
with one cushion,
Yep.
got it off 2, left with a half ball.
Yep. Push it around to. Oh, okay. He hasn't missed many easy ones.
No,
Let's see where this finishes. That's
It'll
what
finish
the
bad.
story of this game really, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's been-
it'll finish bad.
He couldn't play a safety that good.
Good shot required here. Screen check. And just and most club tables that's going to go in
Yeah.
here. It just jaws and stays out. It seems to me that the fall of the pocket is further back inside the pocket where the slate starts to drop off
It is.
on this template.
You can put a ball in the middle pocket jaws and look down the line of the side cushions, and more than half of the ball is behind the line of the cushions. But
Yes.
it hasn't dropped,
Yes,
which it should be at about that 50% mark.
yes,
The ball will drop if you go any further back than that.
yeah,
I did notice, I played on set before with against Gary, and I did notice the top pockets were slightly a bit more tighter, you know, because the pot's a bit more worn in because of the cloth, and it was sliding.
Yeah.
And a couple of shots I played, and how he stayed out, I don't know. So it's definitely getting more difficult to say.
well, I mean, as hard as they are now, we've got the advantage that the cushions are sliding, so that's helping the pots go in. Imagine how hard they'll be to play in 2 months' time,
Yeah.
3 months' time.
I watch our snooker athletes just drilling them in down the road.
Yeah. Well, I say I watched, Ronnie's 147. It's just like, it's just dream snooker, isn't it?
It's just
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
How he hits the ball is just phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
I was sitting with a very nice view doing the pro score
Yeah.
for that tournament, but some of his shots just amazed me. He appeared to hit them so gently, and off the second push of the cue ball zipped back into position.
Yeah.
A really strong, soft
I
side.
think when Ronnie hits the ball,
Gentle authority.
Exactly.
it's a different sound of the balls when he hits the ball.
Yeah.
It's the sweet sound.
They say that in golf, you know, if you've ever watched the pro golfers play, they'll play with golf, and oh, look at that, how far that slid down with Darren. Watching the pros play, the ball off the club is a completely different sound. You've been playing golf all your life, and you've never heard that sound before.
Yeah.
It's quite strange. So 130 the diff, Darren's making tiny headway. 29 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock.
That's your time.
Oh,
Talking
theoretically
about
plenty
the
of time if you
sound,
score.
Mert O'Donoghue, who you've heard of,
I knew Mert.
yeah,
Mert used to coach me as a kid.
he could hear a half ball
I know.
when he lost his sight. A great coach.
Yeah,
When he was working with his students, he could hear whether they're half ball.
yeah. Well, I think I told you that story.
Yeah, yeah.
Originally. So
Didn't even have to watch it.
at Sydney Uni, he would turn away from the table and cock an ear towards the table,
Yeah.
and everybody was called Boy, by the way. He didn't know anybody's names, but whoever was playing, it was thick boy. That was thick. Well, that was thin boy. Oh, that was good. That was a good half ball.
He talks to Robbie Bob, didn't he?
He did
Yes.
teach Robbie Fonfari, yeah.
In the days before digital communication, Robbie used to write him a letter with diagrams, send it in snail mail, and a week later he'd get a letter back from Mert, with what to do.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, just so different to today where you log on to YouTube and
Yeah.
Will Darren get a result? Of course not.
140
course
odds difference now, 27 minutes.
Only one shot here for Gary, I think. It's the
Yeah, pot up a double ball.
keep frustrating Darren, don't take any risks.
Fancy Gary taking an agricultural tenant. Oh no,
No, he's got a pot up.
having a look at the scoreboard.
Now he's just torturing him.
Yeah. But Gary, it's because Gary's puts in the winning line now. You know, give it
Yeah.
attention in his arm. So he
Yeah.
nearly got another 5 or 6 minutes to
Yeah.
this going.
And he knows that Darren was favoured going into this. So that puts a little bit more pressure
That's
on
not
Gary. So Darren's speeding up a little bit, conscious of the time. They're both conscious of the time. So you're really battling two opponents here, the guy with the other cue, but also the clock.
He's still got plenty of time, but you feel like you're under pressure, but even open hasn't played.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can make it, but they've got to start running for you a bit. Get up, get up, get up, get up,
They're all finishing
get up.
like this one.
get up.
Coming off to the without a ball. Or Forster, I can't
Just
tell.
try and keep it straight down the middle of the table.
Yeah.
So
That's it. It's an easy shot if people know the 90-degree rule.
Yes.
Just set it up with a 90-degree start shot. I think it's a mistake on that goal cannon to try and get it to top. It's a better up to touch it third on the red.
good shot.
Good confirm.
See if he can develop something here.
I gather the balls in and sort of soft down. Cover. Yeah, still a nice one.
That's pretty nice.
It's under it now. Once you've been on a couple of inches high there.
Yeah. Alex Bruckner's asked how many points are they playing to. It's a time match, Alex. They're playing a 2-hour match and they have 24 minutes to go.
So we've got a comment here from somebody called ATKS2206 saying pool is better. Well,
Now he's got a chance to do something here.
I know why you're saying that.
The nice angle here to play the next cannon from behind the white. I think he's on the back. It's nearly perfect.
He's got a bit of lights up to the line.
Yes.
He's got a bit margin better than.
Soft, very gentle cannon.
Third round, look to the line, easy cross. And should be right.
Needs to get high here.
Yeah, it's
That
good.
looks good. Well, it's now or never for Darren. 23 minutes, 33 seconds.
There's no real need to rush here, is there? It's the time.
Come up short on that one.
Not too bad. Slow, thin cannon. Not good result. Be happy with that.
Gap is now less than 100, so bit of a fight back going on.
You get the two pots to the cannon sequence going. This is pretty simple.
Sure, much faster. Get a nice angle there. A little bit thin, a little bit check. Or the run through. We've done the run through.
Stage on this table.
Yes.
Thing up there.
It doesn't turn on the bed of the table.
Very high.
So really in
Thin on the red, a little
Post
balance
stop.
cannon, right hand side.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Sometimes you can turn the object ball by playing strong side, but I don't think you can even do that here.
bottom of red.
Enough.
Run through enough. Drop, drop, drop. Oh,
Third cut, 63.
Probably left in half this one.
tough on these tables.
66 to do points now, 64.
A bit of a good finish.
It is tough to get in. Oh, yeah,
Well done.
It's an interesting shot when you want the enough red, but you're worried about the red because of the yellow.
Yes.
You've got to play it wide, a bit of one side,
Yep.
you know, just the spot at the open. And swing it around.
Not exactly what you predicted happened, Jason, but he's had a bit of a result anyway.
Yeah. So our friend John Bonucci manages to play that shot and control Helicus.
Yes, yes.
Most people regard it as a dangerous shot.
Yeah, he'll actually play for that. As will Corsia.
Probably see a blam enough red here.
Dare say.
Sensible, defensible.
Play a cannon.
I think the safety shots, up the red on the right hand side and the white on the left hand side.
Not his instinct. His instinct is to have a go.
Very
Go for
normal.
him, yeah.
7.
It's
Okay.
an easy cannon, but pretty tough to control. You can bump that white down for him off. Oh, he's depart.
You need to find a cannonades, medicine to
Yeah. Got lucky there. I think he was more or less taking the chance that they finished okay.
4.
Alex Bruckner's asking, does the player decide where to put the red? No. The rules determine that. You're allowed to take 2 pots because it's possible to set up a repetitive sequence. You can imagine a straight screwback pot off the red. So the laws of the game were changed way back in the 1800s to prevent that repetitive spot stroke, as it's called. So there's a limit of 2 pots off the billiard spot, what we would call the black spot in snooker. After those 2 pots off the black spot, it's placed on the centre spot of the table where the blue ball goes in snooker. So it's 2 off the black and then 1 off the blue. And then it reverts back to the black spot again. He says, speaking snooker.
It's a tough shot.
Tough spot, or you play white, cushion, red cannon?
Yeah, I think that's the cannon. The shot is to say the red's just slightly off. So he's got a bigger target, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just concentrate on getting the shot.
Nice drop.
Lovely control there.
Push that white a bit further if you want it, but that's not too bad. He drew enough this and get the red up the table.
The goals together.
We've done more with that.
You know, well, Darren's one of the few players, and it could be because he's got one of these tables at home, who's actually underhitting shots. Everybody else is overhitting shots.
It's not ideal.
Screw off the red and come to the other side of the opponent's ball over the middle.
17 minutes to go, we've got plenty of time.
Now 55 the difference.
So that could,
It's actually become an interesting game, hasn't it?
It's going to be a good finish, this.
Would be a good finish. These are the ones we live for, the close finishes. 17 minutes 35 seconds.
perfect.
Well played, avoided the pair of pants as we call it in Australia. Both balls going in. 2 legs of the trousers.
No, he really gets a nice shot. Yeah, we're starting to feel it about now.
Yeah.
Or is a pressure shot.
There is
To drop it in or try and screw back.
I think he wants to lead 369.
oh,
Very back. 27.
Oh,
That looks like big news.
I think he could have taken longer over there. Such an important shot.
can Gary get underneath this for the cushion first pot?
If Darren doesn't get up, I think that little shot looks possible. Really could have been in good shape 2 or 3 shots if he got that putt.
Okay, took a bit of time over that one.
It's a good one.
It is a good pot. He's left in off the yellow to bring it up into cannonable position. If cannonable is a word, I just invented.
I like it. Canonable.
Cannonable.
Yeah.
Bit of a tongue twister. Overcooked that one.
At least. No, we've seen him play a Jenny in the match.
Guten Tag, Martin Schmidt aus Austria, Österreich.
But it's jumping up my pot. Yellow would be going myself.
Oh, is that drifting off? No, it held the line.
Good red.
Yeah, pretty good result.
Sorry you're not here, Martin. Certainly warmer than Austria is at the moment. Okay, Martin's screen is a bit too blurry to read the score, so the score is 372 to Gary Norman. He leads Darren Clark 313, 14 minutes 25 seconds left on the clock.
He's been pretty much faultless with his potting through this match here.
Yeah, he's playing to his strengths.
Is that what's now this week? It's got a good pace about him. I mean, go on, bro.
He hasn't looked edgy in the same way that Darren has.
Maybe that's because Darren thinks that he knows he's the underdog in this game.
Yeah,
He's just relaxed.
nothing to
He's-
lose.
he's-
Nothing to lose.
He's played very well.
No expectations.
They're not easy shots. Unbelievably pressing. So,
It is his go-to, that's stun or screw pot red.
Punch this through up a couple of wickets.
Big follow through on that one. Just ever so slightly the wrong side of straight.
Standing aside to let Chris Coombe play on the Jason Taylor.
So you've got all the directors in camera at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
All the WBL directors, Chris Coombe and Darren Clark.
big
Yeah.
swinger coming up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Jason, you've got a great team of younger guys, which is
we have, yes.
in terms of organisation with Darren and Chris, it's great to see a younger generation of organisers coming into the game. Oh, a little bit more running of the ball. Thank you so much. He's touching the Stuart Bingham's about him, isn't he?
It's a bit embarrassed there.
He's not.
He's been left at half ball red as well.
Has he? Can he get to that?
I don't think he gets there. Maybe might need a little touch of check to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, good read.
Slightly pulling away again now, Gary, isn't he?
Yep. 11 minutes, 46 seconds.
That's a good shot.
It's easy to slip past that.
Easy to miss that shot.
Stun cannon here to watch the double kiss.
went across the other side of the table. Just to give it a bit of clout.
Yeah, it's his style, I think.
Yeah. Score for those with blurry vision, 399 to Gary Norman leads Darren Clark 313.
So after being over 100 behind for some time, Darren actually got to within 50.
He did,
And
and again ran out of running of the ball. Will Gary fancy the pot here?
I think he will.
A good pot. It is a good pot. Oh, great shot.
I think that's the match winner.
With the cue ball spinning.
Yes.
It's on the wrong side.
Yeah.
This is a 5 shot.
Oh, I think you back yourself.
It's not another one.
He backs himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a perfect stage of the match to really Darren throws it on the cushion and play as many reds as you can,
yes.
rather than
Yeah.
manoeuvre
And take up
yourself
some
to
time
recover.
as well.
So you know, he's going back to the table. It's dead on the cushions.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's missed that one. Should have tried the pot.
51.
Well, it's a big pot with the round. If he can pop this red, he's going to be in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Easily timed for 100 if he gets to the top of the table.
Is this his last chance? Oh, did not want it to go in.
I don't need help that, would he?
I don't think he's straight enough for the kiss through shot. Oh, a little angle.
Toes drag.
Yes, beautifully played. Beautifully played. Get over. Does.
Manual with this, hasn't it?
Yeah.
This is a big shot. He's going to try and pop the red and stun it.
Stun run
Stun run
through.
through. Leave the cannon, but he's got to cue it well.
Decides against that. And now they're nowhere.
I thought it was the wrong shot. So
Yeah, I think so too.
that's a bit brave then.
Almost slipped under it, but didn't. But now badly out of position.
Get lucky, you know.
I guess got lucky all day. I don't know why you would now. So 70 the difference essentially. Close to 80.
8 minutes left.
8 minutes 10 seconds, starting to become.
Getting close to the point where you match up with open play, you need to get them down to the top.
Yeah.
If you can get to the table again.
Gary just needs to hold the table there for
Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes just to
Yep.
get some enough stone.
Yes, he wants to chew up the clock, and the best way to do that's to play the open game.
Phone's on.
Some distraction going on there. Take a little bit more time to decide on the shot. Denied.
Carry Norman.
Darren quickly up out of the seat.
It's now on, it.
No, DB Vegan, this is not in Australia, this is in Singapore, at the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy. Yeah, a bit far for him, I think. But not too bad.
You just happen to have a couple of Australians commentary.
Yeah.
Slid. It slid past. It just had no running at all, Darren.
That's that shot that Peter plays thin the running side.
Yes,
The
yes.
right behind the spot, come in behind the red.
Yes.
Smart shot at the time.
Very, very smart shot.
It's possible Gary's been into the last 16 of the World Championship before. Not sure. I think he
Okay.
has in the short format, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I think he was in the last 24 in Melbourne and lost there, but I'm just not 100% sure on that.
No, I don't recall, but he's had plenty of knockouts and finals appearances. But this would be a good result for Gary. He'd be well pleased with this. Darren will be devastated. Well, I don't know what the point of that was, but he had nothing else. So
Yeah, no.
I think he knows he can't win another
He
under
knows that.
5 minutes. Very just needs to keep distance between the balls. That's him.
well, it's great value to double the red.
To go with a big double for his camera.
One in reply. Now, it's not often you see over 90 minutes that all the running of the balls has
No.
gone
The
one
weight's
way.
gone.
Yeah,
Usually it sorts itself out, but
2 hours is it?
2 hours.
You
Sorry,
very
yeah,
rarely
2
see that.
hours. But it genuinely has been entirely one-way traffic in terms of.
Gary has been a more consistent player as well.
He
like
has,
that.
yeah, and that's usually the way it works, isn't it? That the better player gets the running as well.
What?
416, Gary Norman leads Darren Clark 341.
Thanks for joining us, Peter. Really appreciate your time. And good luck
Enjoyed
in
it.
your match. You're up in about an hour.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for listening. Yeah.
Do you know
Thanks,
who
Peter.
you're playing yet, or you don't?
I think it's better looks when it's Chris Cuvee. He's a
Chris
positive
Cuvee,
team.
yeah.
You see, he was in front of the
What do you do before a long match? Do you have a coffee or a
Not a
snack?
coffee,
or-
coffee, yeah. But I've got some food before.
Do you
2.5
eat before?
hours, I think.
That's some lunch before, about 2 hours ago. So. But,
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
very
Peter,
much, Peter. We
for your
appreciate it.
insights. Fantastic.
Into the dying minutes, less than 3 minutes to go. Just a reminder that we'll be streaming last 16 matches. About an hour's time.
Don't forget to share the links. We're streaming on the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy Facebook page and also on the World Billiards YouTube page. That's a clever shot. It's all a bit too little too late, isn't it,
Yeah.
for Darren? He's hurrying as if he can make it, but frankly he can't.
It's hard to know what you do in those dying minutes.
Oh, yes, so he's rushed and missed a red pot.
You're much better off to just
Shake their
concede
hand.
the match.
Yeah.
No, not to concede, not to give up, but to just make sure you play out time.
Yeah,
Even if you only make it 10 unfinished.
yeah.
It's very much frowned upon to concede before the time goes.
Well, it upsets all the draws, especially in the group stages. It upsets the points averages and for everybody. And
Streaming links, sponsors,
Yeah,
supporting
everybody.
stream. It's not good form at all.
no,
We had a couple of people who conceded matches in Melbourne, 3 in fact, and we made a new rule that they
yes,
actually risk their ranking points and their prize money.
yes,
They concede a match without a medical reason.
yes.
Thanks to everyone who's joined us.
Current world number 1 is David Corsier, and doubtless we will see him in the next couple of matches. Thank you, everyone. 40 seconds before Gary celebrates a famous victory.
Hello, Kevin Crichton from New Zealand.
Kevin, if you're referring to me, my form has been pretty awful, but I did manage to get up on Wayne Carey. Always hard to do. And that's time.
Thank you. See you soon.
I paused the clock just now.
Well, they must have stopped the clock.
Yes.
There was a brief
Oh yes, we forgot the players stopped the clock while there was
brief kerfuffle on the
Yes.
other table, I think. So
it can't be more than
seconds.
seconds. Yeah.
Seconds.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks, Jace.
Thanks, Peter.
Really enjoyed
See you in about an hour.
Fantastic.
Yes, thank you.